Oh yeah, what's up guys? This is Chad from RealLife English, and today we have a very special treat for you. We have a very special guest on this live interview with a great language learner, someone who we really admire a lot on the RealLife English project. Idolza, how are you today, man?
Doing fantastic. How you guys doing?
Not too bad, pretty good.
Good to see you. How's it?
What's up, man?
So Idolza, would you like to just maybe say hi to the RealLife English community and maybe tell us a little bit about yourself and your methodology for language learning?
Sure. Well, hi, real life English community. Nice to meet you. Virtual shake. My name is Yadal Sines, and I run a website, mimicmethod.com, where we focus on mastering the sound of your language. So specifically in English, what we do is we teach you how to sing and rap songs in English with a perfect accent. The idea being that that process allows you to hear English better, speak English better, and get into what we call the flow of the language so you can really connect with native speakers. So that's the gist of what I do.
What do you mean by the gist of what you do?
Well, it goes deeper and deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole. Usually, I encourage people to just try it, try my technique to see what it means. But yeah, basically, it's very related to what you guys do with connected speech, where people learn languages typically by reading and writing. So you have this concept of a word, and that word is on paper. But anyone who really thinks about language knows that we don't actually speak that way. So the
Yeah.
question then is, how do you teach someone to learn a language without relying on a written word so much, without relying on these kind of things? What's the core of it? And the core of all language is sound. So that's really what we try to do in our technique and our method is tune your ear and your brain to the sounds of English or whatever language, and then tune the muscle memory, the motor coordination in your mouth so you can speak English fast, the way we speak it. Everyone speaks natural, fast, and connected.
Hmm.
That's pretty awesome, man. Like, I really loved your video. I have to say, like, the video when you rapped in 8 languages. Can you talk a little bit about that? That blew me away. We're gonna show it to our listeners, definitely here, so they can have a look at it. But how did you get that idea?
Yeah, so like I said before, the concept is how do you teach people sound? If you take away all the words and all the writing, how do people learn sound? And I'm actually a musician, and I grew up playing musical instruments my whole life, and there's a process that we go through as musicians to learn sound. So, how do I play violin, for example? How do I, learn the muscle memory in my fingers? How do I tune my ear to know that's an A and not an A sharp? So I had an idea for the mimic method by applying all the knowledge I got from music training to language training. So everything we do is very music based. So to showcase that kind of philosophy and the funness of it, because music is fun, I created my first promotional video of me rapping in 4 languages that I spoke at the time, as well as 4 languages that I didn't speak to demonstrate that even if you don't know what stuff means, you can still create the sounds. And I want people to really appreciate how it's not only about just the sounds, but if you focus on the sounds, it's fun, just like music is fun. So everything we do is music related. If you see my logo as like a little guy with an afro and he's, little musical notes are coming out of his mouth. So, I like to keep things fun because learning, to do a kind of serious learning you need to do to learn language, it needs to be fun.
Yo, let me tell you about a situation. We live in a world divided by races and nations, and nobody learns the other person's language, no. So I'm like, yo, somebody needs to change it, so I started thinking about this thing called flow. Si me permites hablar en español, pues te explico con las lenguas lo que es más importante que es el ritmo. Es como procesamos las palabras conectadas. Y si no aprendes esto, tú no vas a aprender nada. Con sus tablas de conjugaciones, mira, tírense los textos y canten más canciones. La idea muy sencilla, se puder pegar, se puedes hablar. Se eu posso falar o português também. Sempre me perguntam como é que se pode falar sem sotaque. Cara, eu aprendi português através do rap. E ajuda também que eu sou craque da música, fonética, linguística. Eu fiz uma técnica pouco científica pra ensinar como pegar esse flow，都是发展你嘴巴里的肌肉，把口语能力变得越来越强。过来中国人说的话，你就会模仿。In English we call it mimic, and no it's not a gimmick. I take your target language and teach you to rap in it. Oh. And you don't even gotta know jack in it, lay back. I'll take the sound, break it down rhythmic, phonetic. You learn the syllables separate and then connect them together. What you get is pénible. On m'a boycotté sur mon périple de bousculanté comme un go fast ton vélib. Montoni mondore nights avec carino mare machi tu as puto maru bombore. Usumuso mafiosi, heck with sebe kimnozi, get the salio, the prodi book the head. Wangino achewe ganga ferki mata pelos wa fili kafio katungi mafole kamo wanokole. I don't claim to be the first person to claim it, but if language is sound and sound is music, well that sounds like music is language. ¿Qué? ¿Cómo porra nenhuma que dijiste? Listen, I don't want anyone here to confuse it, but if music is sound and sound is language, that means that language is music. Eso, buenísimo.
And how did you learn these sounds? For example, I noticed you spoke in the video you'll speak in Portuguese, Spanish, Chinese, and then you also spoke French and Japanese, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
so at the time I didn't speak French, Japanese, or the other two languages are Swahili and Russian. I speak French now, but I learned Spanish and Portuguese and Chinese by going to countries where they spoke that language and just mimicking people in the environment. And you know, if you go to a random country now and just try to mimic the sounds, it's very difficult because your brain is not tuned to the sounds, your mouth is not tuned. So what I did, specifically when I learned Portuguese and went to Brazil, was I took songs and I used different software to slow them down, and I just paid close attention, and I learned how exactly does Seu Jorge pronounce these sounds, and then I would slow it down and mimic him as best I could, and then I get the next person. How do I get Shakira and like mimic the sound she's making in this songs in whatever language it was? I would always just focus on music because once again I'm a musician. That's always what I'm interested in anyways. So through that process, I would learn how to mimic, and I've always been very good at mimicry because of that. And to the point where when I was in China, when I'm in Brazil, when I'm in a Spanish-speaking country, you know, once I really get into the groove of things, it's very difficult for people to figure out that I'm a foreigner. I confuse a lot of Brazilians. It doesn't really work with Chinese people as much. Unless I'm on the phone. There's been a few times on the phone where I'd, you know, do apartment searching and I'd be speaking in Chinese, and then I show up at the door and the person's like, you know, like just completely flabbergasted. So yeah, it's great, you know, and so that's how I did it. It's all about just, I always put sound above everything else, and as a result, I learn what stuff means as well much faster than anyone else around me.
Hey guys, the Dawson S from the Mimic Method, where we learn languages by focusing on pronunciation first and everything else second. In this video, I'm going to give you a quick sneak peek into how you would learn pronunciation in my program, specifically in the Flow of English program. Right now we're logged into the Flow of English course and we're on a lesson page where you learn the lyrics of a very famous song by Lauryn Hill. Now the first step is to ingrain the rhythm of the phrase because rhythm is the key to language. So we do that by listening to this audio file. Dee dee da dee dee da. Da dee dee da dee dee da. Great, so by chanting along with that and committing that to memory, or actually learning the rhythm of that phrase. Now, you want to replace those da and those d's with the syllables. Here are the syllables you'll be learning. Ha, ha, vin, vin. So you should be mimicking each one of those syllables to get the pronunciation perfect. Now maybe you'll hear a syllable and you're not quite sure how to say it. So for example, this vin sounds strange to me. So I'm going to click it here and watch a video of how to pronounce it. Vin. Vin. Now that's very helpful to me because now I know how to pronounce vin, but there's still a sound I'm not too clear on. So this I vowel right here, if I click here, it'll open up a page dedicated entirely to this sound. I can see where it's made and listen to a series of English words that have the sound and really practice it. Now going back, once I've gone through this process, this musical process of learning how to articulate these syllables, I get to the final part where I want to commit it to memory. And the way I do that is I sing along with the original artist, try my best to mimic, but I'm going to do it at slow speed.
You be like heaven to touch. You be like heaven to touch. You be like.
So by repeating it over and over again in slow motion, I'm training my mouth to make these sounds. Once you finish a lesson, you're going to want to know how you did, what sounds you're getting right, what sounds you're getting wrong. So you record yourself and submit your recording to us. Then within 24 hours, we give you feedback on what you're saying wrong. So let's listen to this student right here and see how he did on this lesson.
You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You be like heaven to touch. I want to hold you so much. At long last love has arrived. And I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you.
Great, so you did a really great job. Once again, he focused on pronunciation first. And he didn't learn what those words meant until the very end of the lesson. So I'm going to give him feedback now on what he's doing wrong and what he's doing right. I noticed at this part right here, he's not doing the vowel correctly.
At long last love has arrived.
So his tongue needs to be lower. Now to help him out even more, I'm going to send him to the tutorial page for the sound ah. So you can listen to all these words that say it. Ah, at, as, back, can. So he's going to be mimicking that over and over again until he tunes his ear to make that sound. So I'll come here, send him the link, and let him know that everything else is very good. And after you do this enough times, you start to feel the flow of the language. And with the flow, you can understand native speakers much more easily. You can speak much more fluently. And most importantly, you can learn quickly through mimicry. So if you have trouble understanding native speakers when we speak quickly, or if you have trouble expressing yourself in the language, I strongly recommend you try my course out. If you do not like the training, I will refund you 100% of your purchase, no questions asked. So sign up now and give us a try.
All right, that's awesome. So this is Idau's and S for the Mimic Method. We are offering this product here for $97 for the flow of English, and this is really going to help you with your pronunciation to really apply everything you learn with the connected speech podcast transcript to really your speaking, to take your speaking to another level, to communicate on a whole different level and connect with people. And there's no other product I would recommend more to complement our product than this. So check it out.
Yeah,
Highly recommend it.
Yeah, we've used the Portuguese one before, man. I really want to try out the Spanish one too, man. I gotta start working my Spanish soon.
Yeah, man, it's all there. Just feel the flow.
Who knows, man? Feel the flow for sure. Hopefully Chinese one day too. All right, well, hey man, thanks a lot for your time today. It was awesome. It's awesome speaking to you, getting to know you here.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me on.
Looking forward to seeing what's coming out in the future.
Yeah, all right, good luck, all you learners out there.
Thanks a lot, Dalza, man.
All right,
Thank
cheers.
you. Take care.
Peace.
Bye.